Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Kellen Cash coming to you again. And, I'm so tired of sharing the same things over and over. But I'm more of a teacher than anything, a real professor. And I show people different films, men and women, just to give them, especially if they haven't traveled abroad, just a different outlook at life because everyone will, they have their levels and their times when they're able to travel abroad and see things. But I wanted to show this movie, and I don't know the official name of it, but you can see it here, Black Men Happier Abroad in Brazil. It's also labeled, Frustrated Black Men in Brazil. And basically, the whole movie is why black men go to Brazil, especially Brazil, but black men go all over the world and they get treated a lot different, not by just the police, because they don't even touch on any of that social justice, how they get treated by women, period. And this has been, this is over 30 years, way beyond my time. But why, black men date outside the race, why black women date outside the race. Personally, I think everybody should be able to date whoever they want. I knew what my family was going to look like when I was like 10, whatnot, and it's a black midnight woman, and my kids, they're clones of me and my wife. And so that was just for me. But you can't tell anybody who they can love. And I think it's kind of narcissistic, arrogant to think that you can, because they're black women all across the globe and being married to someone who's, from abroad. They're, not black American doesn't mean that, characteristics, culture, whatnot, because I actually know where I come from and our countries line up like that. And that was just, I learned that after, so many years of marriage, because like so many, I was ignorant to the fact of where I came from until I couldn't take it anymore. But it's women like this that people see. And, I love reading the troll comments and seeing what people say about, the documentary. And here you have a lot of black men saying, yeah, yeah, thumbing it up. And, you know, you have one guy over here, right here, he's mad because he's like, what does a degree have to do with a woman and her worth, or oh no, this guy right here, black women are so lost, what does a degree have to do with a person being a success? And I mean, a lot of times a degree can set up successful ventures. And so I would, if I wanted to troll him, I'd say, hey, blah, blah, blah. But I get what he's saying, because he may or may not have a degree, but women get a degree and they feel like, they got queened or knighted or whatnot. And to me, I mean, I have a master's degree and I'm probably working on one more, so you guys can call me doctor for real. And it's really not all that. I mean, as far as intelligence wise, you get a degree so you can go do something specialized, if you're sharp, unless you're just kind of just getting a degree to get a degree. But people up here, black women, black American women are so masculine, which there is some truth to. I mean, all women can be masculine. You guys think that Asian women are docile until you actually have Asian friends. I grew up around everybody in the Bay Area, and there's everybody can be a problem, a bugaboo. So it's not like, some women from just one place are easygoing. There's problems everywhere. And I really think women are women, because you're going to run across some of the same things. But what they're saying is, women in America, black women in particular, have to have this shield and this guard up and, try to curse like dudes and dress like dudes. And personally, to me, that's more of a class thing than anything. And you can keep that low class in the trash, because unless we get paid, we're probably not trying to be around that. Too many problems, come with being around low class of any color, because the same things follow you in the class. I mean, you got your poverty. You may be ignorant to certain things because you haven't seen anything, and it's not a one size fits all. But now we stay away from anything low class unless we can help build you up. But people saying I'm moving to Brazil. I sometimes wonder if this guys even have passports to do that, because I think it's still over 70% of Americans don't have passports, which means a lot of black folks don't have passports. But what I will say is when people say Brazilian women are so feminine and blah blah blah, again, that generalization. But since I've been to over 10 countries, I will say this: when you go overseas, you do get treated different from everybody. I mean, from the police to the everybody treats you different. And women do treat you different. I mean, I've had women rush me in the bathroom in Europe, and ask me, am I American? Because they heard me talking loud to somebody while I was going in the bathroom. Never has happened in the States. I felt like Denzel had to pop my collar 2 times and was like, whoa, this is crazy. And crazy things can happen overseas that may not happen in the States. They may, if you don't have no game over in in the States and you go abroad and you fall into something, you may feel like a king. But I can get what they're saying, because you do get a different type of feel when you're overseas. But I get that feel from business to everything, because I know people who are extremely successful. They got titles, degrees, accomplishments, and it was hard for them to make over 6 figures in America. And once they go to in Africa, Europe, and Asia, they're winning. I mean, basic common things like even teaching, getting 15, $1,000+ bonuses. It's amazing what can happen when you leave home. I mean, Bible tells us, you ain't really respected at home. So sometimes some of us do need to go home, but you don't want to. Downplay every black American woman. And we know that the majority of black American women are not going to get married, which is, it's kind of sad, which almost has, I might make a video about, is polygamy the next step to give black women in America a chance? Because, other countries have had that, especially Africa. Not to say that's always a good thing, because that has its own problems. So we'll do another video maybe on that. But black men and our happiness, that's a big thing. One brother was on here and he was just talking about a woman putting a straw in his drink. I'm gonna find that. Because I mean, a straw in his drink. Nobody will put a straw in this brother's drink in America. I mean, and I know a lot of black women will be like, well, these brothers are weak and they gotta tame us or this and that. Man, ain't nobody got time to tame nobody. You know what I mean? I mean, you can do that in any relationship to get that right fit, but ain't nobody taking no half of a lifetime or even a year for you to do what your mother or your grandmother should have taught you. And we understand some people didn't have good home training, but I just know there's so many black women who, like this woman, I'm gonna mute that. Like this woman, I think she was highly accomplished, whatnot. You guys check out the video because I want you to see it. Highly, yeah, got the degrees when I click on that, and feeling like, black men are running away from her. Ain't nobody running away from you, but you gotta understand there's competition. There's competition in the world, and you got to, everyone, they have to fit into it. The same way if when a guy pulls up in a Maserati or some, a fancy car, there's been social experiments that women jump in that car on social media and YouTube, where they had just said no. They had just said no. And then you say yes because of the car. So that just shows a flaw in character. And, of course, everyone says that wouldn't be me, even the people who are in the video. But I'll say this: a lot of women settle. And they'll settle for Applebee's and Red Lobster. But for somebody who's already, kind of established or whatnot, I never took no dates out to that when I was single. I want to go to something like a Morton Steakhouse, and I want to get some, baked escargot and some tuna tacos, and a dozen oysters on the half shell, whatnot. And you can't get that type of treatment if your mentality isn't there. If you know don't like to clean up, this is just me. If you don't like to clean up your own mess, I know surely if we ever had our spot, you don't want to clean up. If you don't want to cook, and I'm working, 10, 16-hour days and in school, and you don't want to clean up, you don't want to cook, and you got some Taco Bell or something, or expect me to bring something. Now, someone like that, you need to always date at your level. And your level might be that thug, it might be that goon, it might be that ghetto dude, no education, it might be whoever. It just ain't me. Because when I come through and we going out to Morton's, and you know you got all the real cutlery out there, and have a chicken Christopher, I think that's one of the dishes over there. You had to be worth it. I would always, for any serious dates, and I didn't do this all the time, but even on a student budget, undergrad budget, I'm taking anybody seriously. I want to date to like a Benihana's. That was my spot. It wasn't called Benihana's, but it was one of those hibachi spots. We going to have hibachi. We gonna spend at least $100. Down south it was a lot cheaper than when you're on the West Coast. We would spend at least $100 on a student budget, and we gonna have a good time because you're quality. And again, I say I only did that twice, that I can remember right now. I know I'm gonna have some of my guys be like, Kellen, man, I heard this. I remember, they always like to let me know about my past. But black men's happiness in Brazil, that's a real thing. The real question is, can black American women treat men like they get treated in Brazil, like they get treated in the Caribbean, like they get treated? I wouldn't say so much in Europe, but you get a different type of vibe in Europe where I think women sometimes may find you exotic, which in the States you can just be a dime a dozen. And that's the same thing when a French guy or somebody comes over here in America, but America's so, I don't want to say xenophobic, but America's so we're involved in ourselves. Sometimes we're like, foreigners or whatever. But a lot of people like foreigners, and opposites attract, and there should be nothing wrong with it. But black men happy and abroad, I'd love to hear the comments. And don't just say, oh, these is weak brothers with the glasses, because these weak brothers with the glasses, sometimes they writing the checks. And sometimes, they're not the ones hitting you upside the head, or why when you get, pregnant, you've already broken up with the dude, and you look like Boo Boo the Fool, and then have the audacity to think that you still a 10. Because once you have a child, let me let you know this, man or woman, you're not single anymore. You're a mother, you're a father. Therefore, all that single cuteness and that freedom, you're really kind of a burden to somebody who doesn't have kids. So you kind of, make it harder to then date someone who may have their stuff together, but especially if you living at somebody else's house. What's up with all these people living at someone else's house and acting like, options are just flowing through the window and the roof? You're living at somebody else's house. Get up off the couch. You're grown. No matter what the situation, bounce back. You can do it. We've all done it. I'll get into other videos, but my journey was not just all smooth. I mean, but get out the house. And if people going back to their parents' house, smoking up the parents' weed. Come on, this 2017, you're smoking up your parents' weed on their spare bedroom. I thought you were out the house. Some folks were even on the couch. We don't want to make fun of anybody, but we just want to show you how ridiculous and logic is, I think, missing, and common sense is missing, because everyone's so sensitive, and you're supposed to kind of oh, it's going to be okay. It is going to be okay if you get off your butt, but it ain't going to be okay if this is like a permanent plan. You got to do something. And one thing, if you're single and you want a man, because some people don't want a man, If you want a man, you may want to take some etiquette classes, especially if your mother was ratchet. Maybe your daddy was or wasn't there, but he might have been ratchet too. Take some etiquette classes. Learn how to be around money. That's one thing I do with some of my mentors and mentees and clients is I take them around money, because once you get around money, you can kind of see your own flaws as far as networking for business, because that's what I do it for. When people want to call me on Clarify and, hey, we want to do this for our business, or another platform, we have another hotline platform, and come around some people who have some common sense, who have some things going for them. If you like class, now everyone's not classy. Some people think that's a sellout, blah blah blah. That's fine. You guys have your neighborhoods, y'all have your crews. I'm cool. Been there, done that. East Oakland, California, man. And it's gentrified now. But I say that to say I'm cool with anything. I don't want nothing too hood. Um, Even though people may say and listen to this and say, "Well, you sound like," I can sound like what I sound like, but you don't have to deal with me. So just be happy. So check this video out. Black man happier abroad in Brazil. Don't be mad at my opinion, because that was just my opinion. I'm sure you have yours and you can make your own videos. You can like, subscribe, and share this if you like. This is Kellen Cash, and I'm out.